round of applause for this year's first team class, the class of 2025.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shea Stadium on the campus of the United States Military Academy at West Point. And tonight's sprint football matchup, it's senior night here in West Point, New York, as the Army West Point Black Knights get ready to square off against the Cornell University Big Red. Alongside Ross Graham, I'm Justin Rock. So glad to have you with us on this Friday night. Friday Night Lights, Army West Point, a perfect 5-0 on the year. Cornell 2-3 on the campaign. And Ross, this is an Army team that's going to be without their star running back Arthur Lavallee here tonight, coming off one of his best games of his career last weekend against Mansfield. But before we get to that, I believe we're going to send it down to the field for the playing of our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise, remove the hats, and join our cadet athletes and coaches in honoring America and celebrating its freedom and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem.
So the national anthem has been played, and it is just about time for football here on this gorgeous Friday night. It's been unseasonably warm all day long, and really over the last couple of days here in the tri-state area. Right now, 69 degrees here at West Point, New York, 67 degrees. The real feel, according to AccuWeather, wind blowing towards the far end zone down the left side of your screen here tonight. But Ross, we were talking about it before the anthem. No Arthur Lavallee today here for the Black Knights. So Henry Beck, the senior on senior night, going to be the starter as the running back here today. But Lavallee, a big player to have to account for today, Army-wise, trying to make up for his production.
Yes, we will see Lavallee sideline tonight, but I envision that won't deter anything Coach West has planned, as we saw Henry Beck coming back actually as the main returner a year ago on the rushing side of things. So expect to see Beck get the ball a lot, as well as the number 41 Ross as well. He will be the secondary running back, so we'll get to see a lot of different rushers throughout the game on the ground, even though without having Lavallee in for the game.
Yeah, so Beck, who's coming off arguably his best game of the season last week against Mansfield, will be the bell cow back today for Army. As for Cornell, Ross, this is a team winners of their last matchup. They've won a couple of close games. They've also had some lopsided defeats. It's a team that has struggled against Army the last number of years. What do you expect to see from the Big Red here tonight?
I expect the Big Red to come out with a fight. I know they're going to be determined. I expect them to try to get the momentum on their side early, as we saw they chose to receive the ball first in this first half, try to get some points up and establish momentum early on in this first half.
Yeah, so Army West Point will kick things off. Cornell back to receive. Madera Castellanos is back along with O'Malley. That is Dan O'Malley, the far man. And we're underway here on this Friday night in West Point, New York. Madera Castellanos from the goal line makes a couple of men miss. And then finally brought down by Zach Mansfield out by the 25-yard line. Solid return for Madera Castellanos. And Cornell's offense out first. First down and 10 at the 22-yard line. So a solid return for Madera Castellanos. This a Cornell offense expected to start Evan Nicholas under center here tonight. Max Spiro had been the predominant starting quarterback through the early going this season for the Big Red. So Nicholas in shotgun. He's got Lopez in a sidecar to his left. Nicholas keeps it up the middle and is hit by Weber, Carsey, Sean Cuff, and Lou Petkis in on the tackle as well. And a QB keeper for the Cornell signal caller to get things started, Ross.
Yes, you're exactly right. And we do have a penalty likely going to come back against the Big Red on this play.
That was a flag down.
Holding Cornell.
And it'll be a holding penalty against the Big Red offensive line. And so a unfortunate start on the offensive side of the ball for Cornell. This is a Cornell offense that has had its fair share of ups and downs this season, averaging just over 17 points a game, but averaging just 195 yards of total offense per contest. Nicholas takes the snap, hand off to Lopez up the gut, and Lopez doesn't get a whole lot. As a short gain on what was first down at 20, and that'll be second down and about 20 to go back at the 12-yard line.
So far, we've seen a couple runs up the middle. So far, the Black Knight interior defensive line has held well as expected, as that's been a strong point of their defense so far this whole season. Expect the same the rest of the night.
Even without the likes of guys like James Windsor, the defensive lineman senior, who's out tonight. Nicholas, for his passing play, throws it out to the far side to Madera Castellanos. He'll make the catch. Finally brought down. I don't know if there was a fair catch called for by the Big Red on the special teams. Never saw someone raise their hand, but fair catch called for.
Fair catch taken by
And Cornell going to start the drive 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. So Cornell will start their second drive, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They converted a first down on the opening drive, but had it erased on a penalty. Nicholas, a handoff. Another flag flies on an end around to the near side. And we'll see where this is, in the vicinity of holding. But we'll see what the call is as Cornell tried getting out to the near sideline. And it'll be a legal formation against the Big Red. And that'll already be the 4th penalty on Cornell in less than 5 full minutes of action here tonight. The penalty will not be accepted. Army is going to take the result of the play. It's going to be a loss of 3 on that end around. So 2nd down at 13, back at the 22 for Cornell. Nicholas in shotgun, Lopez to his right. Nicholas takes the snap, fires out to the far side and over the head of his intended target, Madera Castellanos. Looked to be Zion Sims, the linebacker, on the coverage there for the Black Knights. And it'll be 3rd down behind the sticks once again for this Cornell offense. Been a struggle for this Cornell team at times offensively this year. Entering play here tonight, just 30.5% their conversion rate on 3rd down. Nicholas takes the snap, quick screen pass out to the far side, and a grounder unable to be scooped off the turf. Look to try and get it in the grasp of Colin Boyle, the wide receiver. And it looks like another punting situation upcoming for the Big Red.
Here comes Ben Deloitte, located on his midfield logo there again, looking to return this punt and get some great field position once again, as we're going to get to see Cal West come back out, lead his offense on the 2nd offensive drive already, early in this 1st quarter.
Alongside Ross Graham, I'm Justin Rock. We apologize for some technical difficulties we had a little bit earlier here tonight, but we're with you here from Shea Stadium on the campus of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Army a 7-0 lead here in the 1st quarter. 10 minutes to go in the period. Punted away by Cornell. Deloitte on the return from his own 40-yard line. Out across the 45. And finally, his forward momentum ruled stopped. And the Black Knights offense will come back out to work just on their side of midfield.
Yes, we saw Beck lead the offense on that 1st drive, much as the way he did it the season ago. First time he's gotten that start so far this season. It's going to be fun to watch Beck and Ross, as they are more power backs, more agile, more up the middle backs than Lavallee. They don't have quite the speed as Lavallee, but they do complement each other really well, as we're going to see both of them on offense tonight.
And it's just also a big point for this offense to be able to not have a guy like Arthur Lavallee at your disposal here tonight and still have faith in the other guys you're going to give the ball to in the backfield. A handoff to Beck on a delayed sweep out to the far side. Beck, like a cannonball, bulldozing his way across midfield. And it'll be just shy of the 1st down marker out near the Cornell 45-yard line. Will be 2nd down and 1 upcoming for the Black Knights. A good gain for Beck here on 1st down. Beck coming off a great game last week for the Black Knights. 89 yards, scored 3 touchdowns on the ground. Belleville, the senior, in motion across the formation. Quick screen pass to Beck. Cuts to the inside, makes 2 men miss, and all the way down inside Cornell territory at the Big Red 40-yard line, and that'll be a Black Knight 1st down.
There's that agility we mentioned earlier. Great ability to get off the defenders, pick up a great run after the catch there by Beck.
Looked like Army had a free play. West going to fling it down the far sideline. But it's going to be ruled dead before the start of the play. And it's going to be neutral zone infraction against Cornell. There was some contact at the line of scrimmage, and that's why the play blown dead. But great job by Kyle West. If you're the Army coaching staff, recognizing, at least at the time being, it appeared he had a free play.
Yes, all the wide receivers are taught if that play happens, you immediately go to four verts. You're going to get open, try to get open down the field, knowing you have a free play. You might as well take a big shot downfield. In that time, the play was just miscombobulated. The left side of that offense was all out of whack, as we did have some contact on the line, so we're just going to take the penalty here. We do the play.
So Army now first down at 10 at the Cornell 34-yard line, 7-0 lead, 8:47 to go on the quarter clock. West back to pass, finds his man in the slot over to the far side, looks to be Parker Williams. And Williams, trying to get himself towards the far sideline, is brought down. A short gain for Army on first down and 5, and it should be second down and 1. Upcoming for the Black Knights at the Big Red 30. And a handoff up the middle. Beck spins off one tackler, try to get down inside the 10-yard line, and finally halted there. So once again, Ross, we see this Army offense going to more of a hurry-up strategy, something we hadn't seen really the last 2 home games.
Definitely. They like to take their time, and they like to switch it up with the momentum.
Army looked like they have another free play, and it's blown dead. The question is, did the offensive line jump first this time? And based on the initial signal, it appears Army did. Or maybe not. Looked like the official. It will be another offside penalty against Cornell. And Ross, here in the first 8 minutes or so, 7 minutes, this first quarter, is probably 5 or 6 penalties now against this Cornell offense and defense.
Right, if not even more. So far, these penalties are just beating down the Big Red, unable to get any momentum on the offense or defense, as every time they do something good, they get taken it back by a penalty.
Back to the right of the quarterback, West. Kylan shotgun. Handoff up the middle. Beck plowing his way forward. Is he in? What's the signal? The far official raises his arms. Touchdown, Army. 2 touchdowns for the Black Knights, both from seniors here to start senior night. 4th touchdown for Beck in the last 2 games. And with 7:45 to go in the first quarter, Army's got a 13-0 lead. Cueto on for the extra point. But Henry Beck punching it in, his 5th touchdown of the year. 4 of them have been in the last 5 quarters since last Saturday. As Cueto drills the PAT, stays perfect on the year. An Army of 14-0 lead with 7:45 to go in the first quarter. And got to credit the Black Knights offensively. They've had 2 short fields, and they've taken advantage of it both times.
Definitely, Coach Mark West has done a great job. Even though without his starting running back, he's taken his backup in. So far, they've had no slowing down, no changes in their offensive scheme whatsoever. They've taken advantage of 2 short fields, scored 2 quick touchdowns in this first quarter to pick up a big lead. Like we mentioned earlier, it's promising that whenever you have to put backups in at any given spot, it's promising to be able to see this team still succeed, still maintain that same level of excellence. Promising for difficulties that may come down the line for anyone else to get injured.
It's been a very deep Black Knight team over the years, and you see it. One of the things we were talking about pregame, Ross, is how important the first half going to be. We mentioned it last week. Army outscoring their opponents 119-27 in the first half this year, and you compare that to the other side. Cornell's been outscored 98-45 in the first half this season. So important for Cornell to find a way to come up with something on this drive as the Big Red on the return. And finally comes to a halt with a scrum out beyond the Big Red 20-yard line. And so Cornell will start their 3rd drive of the day. First down at 10 and right about stay in the hurry-up. West, low snap, rolls out to the far side, tries to get away. He's hit, and he's dropped. Cornell comes up with the sack. Caden Preba, first sack of the season for the Goshen, Indiana native. And Army forced into 3rd down and 8 back at the Cornell 44-yard line.
Kyle West has not been sacked a lot this season, uncharacteristic of the Black Knight O-line that's been so great all season long, as we now see a long 3rd down play for West.
Army offense set up 5 wide, 3 to the far side. West takes the pass, throws over the middle, and incomplete. Try to thread the needle to Devin Brown, was a tight window. Coverage from Ian Applegate, and Army going to be forced to punt it away for the first time today. So a great stop by Cornell defensively at midfield, and Army going to choose to punt it away and play the field position game, try and pen the Big Red by their own goal line.
Yes, good job there by Coach Michael Hugh in the Big Red defense there to get a stop. Good job staying composed, not letting the turnover throw them off their game, as they now force Black Knights to punt and get the ball right back.
Alex Pirine has been one of the best punters in the league this year. He'll fire it away, angles it over to the far side. Nobody home, takes a Cornell bounce out by the Big Red 20-yard line. Won't be the best punt we've seen from Pirine this season. And it looks like the Big Red will start the drive, 1st down and 10, back at their own 21. So only about a 23 or so yard punt from Pirine. And the Big Red back out on offense, 1st and 10. Alongside Ross Graham, I'm Justin Rock. We apologize for some sound technical difficulties so far here tonight, but we're with you. Army a 14-0 lead here late in the first quarter. Evan Nicholas and Cornell back out on offense. They hand it off to Lopez up the middle. And Lopez with a burst. Shoestring tackle made by Weber Carsey after a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 26, under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
2nd and 5 from the 26.
One receiver out wide to the far side. Lopez behind the quarterback, Nicholas. Nicholas takes the feed, fires it out near side to Madera Castellanos. Lou Petkis makes the tackle. And a short pickup for Cornell brings up 3rd down and 2. Ball at their own 29-yard line. So need to get to about the 31 to move the sticks.
32 at the 29.
2 receivers out near his side. Nicholas in the shotgun takes the snap. Hand off to Lopez, and Lopez ain't going anywhere. Brandon Castro got in there in the backfield, made the immediate hit, and it's going to be a loss of yards for Cornell on 3rd and short, a loss of 2. Backs them up to 4th and 4, and the Big Red forced to bring their punting unit back out onto the field.
Ben Deloitte stands back at his 35-yard line. Now, of course, the Black Knights are going to be more cognizant, more aware of a fake punt. Likely won't be able to pull that one off twice in one first quarter, but it was fun to see it as a last. Now we're going to see Black Knight offense get back out on the field after punting away on their last drive.
So Wilson's going to punt it away for Cornell. Army West Point with Deloitte all the way back at the Army 35-yard line. Army a couple extra players deep just in case. Another fake as Deloitte calls for a fair catch. Had it, lost it, but then falls back on top of it at about the Army 33-yard line. So disaster averted there as the senior Ben Deloitte able to hop on the muff punt. So Army a 14-0 lead here in the first quarter. Ball at their own 33, 1:19 to go on the quarter clock, coming off their first punt of the night. Army's first 2 drives, slicing through the Big Red, able to work themselves into the end zone. A touchdown strike from West to Brown got it started, and then it was Henry Beck who punched it in from about 10 yards out. So Army with 1st and 10. Ball at their own 33. Deloitte and Brown out of the near side. Belleville and Williams out to the far right-hand corner of your screen. Deloitte in motion from left to right. Beck sidecar to the right. They hand off to Beck up the middle. He's got plenty of room. He's got a first down out across the 40 and brought down just shy of the Cornell 45-yard line. A pickup of about 12 on first down, and Henry Beck running with a purpose on senior night.
I tell you what, we mentioned losing Lavallee's speed tonight, but Beck's had great bursts of speed so far already.
Great blocking by the Army offensive line as well. West rolling right, decides to keep it, makes a couple of men miss out across midfield, down to about the Cornell 45-yard line, and both near officials, the umpire and the referee, testing out how far they can throw the flag as another hanky down on the turf. There have been a cacophony of penalties, and it's going to be a face mask penalty on the very tail end of the play. That's going to tack on 15 to this scramble from Kyle West. And the Black Knights going to move it all the way down to about probably the Big Red 35-yard line with under a minute to go in the quarter. But Ross, I know at times sound has been a problem here in the first quarter, but there have been a boatload of penalties against Cornell so far in this first quarter.
It's hard to even describe. It's unusual what's going on. So many penalties against the Big Red, uncharacteristic of both teams, really.
Army with a bunch formation. Two receivers out to the near side. Two out to the far side bunched. West takes the snap, end around for Belleville. Belleville trying to cut to his left, able to get around the first tackler and somehow able to lower his shoulder pads and corkscrew himself across the 30-yard line. So a real nice run there for Deloitte for 5 on first down on a play where it looked like he might go nowhere. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Army does not need to run another play before the end of the period. Play clock at 25, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and the clock for the quarter going to expire. That'll do it for the first quarter here from Shea Stadium through 15 minutes. It's been all black and gold. Army West Point 14, Cornell nothing. You're watching CSFL football on KnightVision from YouTube. Back here on KnightVision from YouTube. Second quarter about to get underway. Army on the march. A 14-0 lead. First, or rather second down and 5 of the Cornell 27. And before we can snap the ball, it's going to be the first penalty on Army tonight. A false start going to push the Black Knights back to second down and 10 at the 32. And Ross, in the first quarter that saw a lot of calls go against Cornell. Army called for their first infraction.
That's true. That's true. The first time we're seeing the Black Knights being penalized tonight.
3 receivers out to the near side. West takes the snap, fakes the handoff, fires over the middle to Belleville, out beyond the Cornell 20-yard line. Ball is out, and they say it's loose. Cornell says they have it. It's inside the 20-yard line. And it will be Army football. Belleville able to come on top of it despite a whole slew of white shirts there. And a big break for Army, as not only do they pick up the first down, but they save possession on the fumble recovery. Hand off up the middle for Beck. Makes the first man miss. Out across the 10 to the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Army. Second touchdown in the first half for Henry Beck. And with 14:35 to go in the first half, Army's got a 20-0 lead. But a player down at the tail end of the play for Cornell. Big red player down in the end zone. And I do believe that is Ishmael Edie, the junior from Severn, Maryland. Currently down, being tended to by the Cornell training staff. But Henry Beck, Army hasn't run the ball a whole lot, especially between the tackles, between the guards here in this first half. But when they have, Henry Beck has found a way to pick up chunk yards, and maybe the most impressive thing we've seen for Beck so far is he has consistently made that first defender miss.
Not only the first defender, in that time it was 1, 2, 3 defenders miss. The defenders are right there, they're right on him, they have contained, and then all of a sudden, boom, Beck shifts one way, shifts back the other way, shifts the other way again. His ankle mobility, his tremendous ability to shake around and move out of the way of the defenders is amazing, and that's why we get another touchdown there despite defenders on contact.
Fitting that number 20 makes it 20-0 here on this Friday night. But Henry Beck, who had just 1 touchdown in the first 4 games of the season for the Black Knights, has scored 5 now in less than 6 full quarters of action. Really 5 in a handful of seconds, as we're only 25 seconds into the second quarter here tonight. So Edie able to get off the field on his own power, seeming to be favoring that left shoulder, and hopefully everything all right. With the biological sciences majors, had himself a really nice career as a big red defensive back. Tilley to hold, Cueto on the PAT for the Black Knights. High snap, but Tilley and Cueto able to adjust, and the PAT good. 29 for 29 this year is Cueto. Nobody in the CSFL have hit more PATs, and no one has made more without missing than Nicholas Cueto. And that's something that's not always a guarantee in the CSFL. Sometimes you'll see kickers play multiple positions, guys who play linebacker, offensive line. Zachary Shaver at time was doing kickoffs last year for Army as a starting offensive lineman. But the fact that Army has 2 sole place kickers in Cueto and Pirine, 2 guys that are very reliable, both punting and with field goals, point after tries. Feels like sort of an embarrassment of riches for the Black Knights that they have 2 kickers that they have so much confidence in.
It is a valuable attribute to this team that not a lot of teams are blessed with, so truly a great thing for Coach West and all the Black Knights.
Great kick on the kickoff there from Pirine. They'll go into the end zone for a touchback, and Cornell will start the drive 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Credit to Cornell special teams as well. Steven Sizz, their place kicker this year, the sophomore from Northport, New York, coming into play today. Tied for the league lead in field goals made with 3. So both teams feeling pretty confident in what their kickers and punters can provide, but right now the Army offense been fantastic, but the defense, Ross, has been even better.
Defense has not given up hardly anything to this Cornell offense. They've had some success on the ground, as we see here, as they went up again, once again, able to get past the first line of defenders there. But so far, the defense has held strong, especially in the passing game, not giving up any long receptions at all.
Barry Alt on the stop. Great run there from Kevin Lopez, the senior from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. 9-yard gain there on first down on the delayed handoff. So Cornell 2nd and 1 back at their own 34-yard line. Haven't converted a ton of first downs so far in this ball game. Nicholas in shotgun. Got a man to his left. I don't even see a number 8 on this Cornell roster. Nicholas going to take it, running left. And Weber Carsey able to make the stop. But out across the 35-yard line, and that'll be enough for a big red first down.
We've seen Nicholas utilize the run game a lot already tonight, coming in with 4 rushing touchdowns to only 1 passing touchdown. So we like to see the Big Red like to run on the ground with a bunch of 2 backs there in the backfield with the quarterback also as a rusher, dual threat.
So Nicholas in shotgun. Handoff again to Lopez, trying to cut out to the far side, and a great tackle. The senior Zach Mansfield making his first career start here tonight or actually I should say the junior Zach Mansfield, making his first career start tonight. Started his sprint career as a receiver, now playing on the D-line. A little bit different between positions, but a great play there on the edge.
It is definitely different, but also, like we got to see his speed there. He's able to use some of that speed he had on the offense as it translates to the defensive line, getting to the running back in the backfield.
1 yard loss on the play. Lopez behind the quarterback, Nicholas in the pistol. Fake the handoff to Lopez, running for his life. Nicholas tried going left, cut back right, throws over the middle, and incomplete. Try to get it to Andrew Lay, the tight end, but a great effort by Weber Carsey. It looked like the linebacker to break up that pass.
Good job there by Weber, the senior linebacker, able to maintain coverage of his wide receiver, even though Nicholas was running all over the field, able to stay on his defender and ultimately maintain position enough to knock the pass away, force it now third down and long.
I've seen that the last 2 weeks, in which Cornell, and last week it was Mansfield, being able to extend plays with the quarterback scampering around scrimmage. Great effort there to give the Big Red an opportunity. A 12:32 on timeout going to be taken here.
Cornell.
Be the first charge timeout for Cornell here tonight with 12:32 to go in this second quarter. 3rd down and 11. Ball spotted at their own 36-yard line, Ross. A tough spot and a sort of gotta-have-it situation. An opportunity for Army to go up by 4 scores, and they've had a tough time slowing down this Black Knight offense so far. From what you've seen, what has worked for Cornell so far today, what are you trying to do for the Big Red offense here on 3rd and long?
I can imagine Coach Hugh in that huddle right now telling his team, take a deep breath. It's the first quarter. It's better to get momentum. Stay true to what they've been doing. So far, their quarterback run game has worked very well. They've had receivers open. They just haven't been able to connect. So they need to hold still, hold fast to what they've been doing, and trust in the routes here. Try to get a pass to convert this first down here.
5 wide set, 3 receivers to the near side. Nicholas back to pass, tries to step up in the pocket, throws right, and was it picked off or incomplete? Army defender got a hand on it, but it will fall incomplete. And it'll be 4th down upcoming for Cornell. It was a late shove in the back as the defender went to pick that ball off that saved a potential interception.
That was Weber Carsey there again. Great job by actually the Cornell offense player becoming a defensive back, knocking that pass away from Weber to prevent an interception, as now we have the Black Knights set to receive another punt.
It looked like Dan O'Malley had the shove to force the incomplete pass, but great read in the zone coverage by Carsey as Deloitte back to receive, and he muffs a second punt. Did Cornell come on top of it? Army looked to have dove on it on a second deflection. And disaster averted again for the Black Knights. Normally very sure-handed Ben Deloitte. That is his second muff punt in a row, and both times the Black Knights thankful to be able to hop on top.
You're right. I'm not really entirely sure what's causing that. 2 straight muff punts. I do know the wind gusts are a little higher than normal out here, but fortunate again for the Black Knights to recover that one with Cornell players all around that ball. Very easily could have been bad news for the Army with Cornell picking up the ball inside the red zone had that gone the other way.
So Army West Point will take over on offense. Ball at their own 17-yard line. They hand it off up the middle, and a cloud of dust for the Black Knights. Lost a yard on 1st down. Lost 2 as a matter of fact, as J.P. Ross took his first carry of the night. Going 2nd and 12 for Army back at their own 15.
2nd and 12 from the 15.
Weston shotgun.
Big Red showing a blitz here.
Takes a snap, fires it deep over the middle, and incomplete. Looked like there might have been a miscommunication there.
West had to just get that ball out immediately as several Cornell defenders came through the line unblocked. Had no time in the backfield. Good job there by West. Just get the ball away and stay for no down.
Looked like there might have been a discussion about whether or not could be a intentional grounding maybe on that last play from Kyle West. Maybe not a receiver in the vicinity, but doesn't appear to be the call. Was there a... Despite all the confusion, it will be 3rd down at 12. Black Knights trying to move the sticks. Deloitte in motion across the formation near side. West with time over the middle. He's got Deloitte, and he hangs on out by the 30-yard line. He's going to be right near the marker, and it's going to be an interesting spot here. Whether it'll be 4th and short or a 1st down, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down and 1. Ball at their own 26. Army going to keep the offense on the field. West, handoff up the middle. Plenty of room. Right up the gut and into the Friday night air. Henry Beck is gone down the left sideline. Touchdown, Army. Henry Beck on 4th and 1 takes it 70+ yards, and with 10:57 to go in the second quarter, it's 27-0 Black Knights on Beck's 3rd touchdown tonight.
Cornell was expecting a run there, brought people from all outside, from inside the box, from around the corner, but the problem was once Beck got through that first line, there were no DBs, no linebackers to have any other sort of safety net for the defense. Untouched all the way, no one even in his sights. That's another touchdown on the ground for Beck.
Previous career high for Beck on the ground, 39 yards. As that PAT up and good. That came last week against Mansfield, and on senior night, Henry Beck doubles that. His longest run of his career, and with 10:57 to go in the second quarter, Army a 28-0 lead. How about Henry Beck? 6 touchdowns in the last 6 quarters.
We talked about the impacts of losing Arthur Lavallee before the game, but I think it's safe to say Army's doing just fine. They're perfectly content with having Henry Beck out there at running back, which is truly nice. I wouldn't even consider it a starter and a backup. I think it's like 1A, 1B, so it's nice that if 1A is gone, 1B can fill in, as we see 70-yard touchdown right there.
I mean, Beck was an all-league first-team member a year ago as a running back. That's how good Army has it at running back so far this year, between the duo of Becca and Lavallee, who is not in pads tonight for the Black Knights, as another touchback for Alex Pirine and Army into the end zone. And Cornell will start the drive 1st and 10 at their own 25, 28-0 in favor of the Black Knights, continuing their first half dominance. Right now, Cornell trying to do anything they can, not only to move the sticks, but it feels like there have been very few plays for the Big Red in this first half from the plus side of midfield. It's an Army team that beat Cornell last year soundly, 63-0, and it was 72-0 the last time these two teams played in this facility. As a handoff up the middle to Lopez, looked like he lost it on his way down, but nowhere to escape. As the tackle made immediately in the backfield, William Saylor and Zach Mansfield were causing trouble. 1 yard loss on the play, 2nd down and 11, and I think that's where the depth for Army really creates some of these lopsided scores at times. Cornell has a lot of guys playing both sides of the ball. Army, their defense, they're fresh, they're rested. They were sitting on the bench during that entire offensive drive.
It is a blessing for sure for the Black Knights to be able to stay fresh, have players in multiple positions, multiple players deep on both sides of the ball.
Screen pass near side to O'Malley, and he dropped it. Army was set up defensively to make this stop. Only one blocker out to the near side. And O'Malley maybe picked his head up a little bit too early, looking downfield, and it'll be 3rd and long.
That's when the old coaches would say, you heard the footsteps, started running before he secured the ball there, got a little bit too antsy, bringing up now 3rd down from behind the chains.
And Cornell coming in a play today, just a hair over 30% on 3rd down this season. 10-11 to go here in the second quarter. 3rd and 11 from the 24. Nicholas going to keep it running right. He's got some room on the edge, but he'll be well short of the 1st down marker. Did lower his shoulder right at about the Big Red 30, but that's going to be about 0.5 yards short of the marker still.
Those designed runs by their quarterback have so far been the most successful and most positive gains for the Big Red, but unfortunately it's just not enough. Black Knights are too quick on the defense, able to get there. As we said, they're fresh. They've got a lot of players who used to play offense. They're fresh, they're quick, they're able to get to the stops before the quarterback can pick up a first down. Here we go, another punt for Cornell.
Yeah, it's been tough for Cornell offensively, largely because Army's just been able to sit a whole bunch of players in the box against the run. Cornell hasn't shown the ability to move the ball downfield through the air. Is this a wobbling kick short? Deloitte going to let it bounce. Takes an Army roll out near the 40-yard line. And it'll be great field position again for the Black Knights to start the drive. 9:15 on the clock. Ahead 28-0. And here comes the Black Knights back out on offense at their own 35-yard line. So here comes Kyle West in the black and gold. J.P. Ross going to come out after that long touchdown scamper from Henry Beck. Mentioned no Arthur Lavallee today for Army offensively. 5 receivers set to start the drive. West claps his hands. Screen pass near side. Deloitte gets a couple of good blocks out by midfield. Cornell trying to jar that ball loose. And Deloitte still chugging his way forward and brought down a hair short of the Big Red 45-yard line. Elliott Kim was doing his best to bring down the receiver Deloitte there.
Gritty little run after catch there. It took several defenders to bring down Deloitte.
And again, Army will have a free play here. Deep pass, far sideline. Oh, he overshot him. He had the man down the far end. That was Devin Brown. And again, Army on the quick count, able to get Cornell to jump.
Cornell likes to bring edge rushers from the sides to force pressure, force Kyle West to get the pass off quickly. But unfortunately, it's just been too many times where they're getting too antsy, jump the line of scrimmage too early, giving West free plays like we saw there. And now we're going to bring up another penalty against the Big Red, another 5-yard gain.
So first down and 5 for Army at the Big Red 42. 4 receivers set. Ross motions to the near side, swings out of the backfield. They throw over the middle. They've got Scott Belleville, who gets tackled by the turf monster just shy of the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for another Army first down with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half, a gain of about 13 there.
West was able to shake off the middle linebacker there with his eyes, look to the right to fake as if he was throwing out to his outside receiver, get Belleville wide open in the middle of the field for the first down.
Bunch formation here for West and Army. They fake the handoff. Back to pass. West with time. Fires over the middle. He's got Williams inside the 10-yard line. The former Division I wide receiver, Parker Williams, a big catch. And Army with first and goal. First and goal for the Black Knights at the Cornell 6. They go, hurry up. Handoff up the middle. It's J.P. Ross slicing to his right. Stays upright into the end zone. Touchdown, Army. J.P. Ross able to punch it in. His second touchdown of the season. And with 7:44 to go in the second quarter, it's 34-0 Black Knights.
It's easy for us to talk about the skill and athleticism of the quarterback, of the running back, of all the wide receivers for the Black Knights. Something that needs to be noticed there is the opportunity the offensive line for the Black Knights gives Kyle West. He virtually faces no pressure, able to stay in the pocket for as long as he wants to deliver strikes downfield. So great job there also by the Army offensive line, giving the running backs, that is, and the quarterback plenty of time to make up whatever play they need to do, drive the ball all the way down the field, pick up yet another touchdown in this first half.
It has been some kind of start here for the Black Knights on senior night. It has been rather lopsided so far. And right now, you saw this Black Knight team, and you wondered a little bit, Ross, after last week. Army had a 42-0 lead at one point against Mansfield. Mansfield able to score 3 late touchdowns, make it a 21-point final score. You wonder if maybe part of taking the foot off the gas at the tail end of the last game, maybe playing into the factor of the way Army has just kept their foot on the throttle full blast here in the first 15 some odd minutes.
I think that is a possibility. I think also it goes into the fact that they were playing their third stringers at that point. Not necessarily a change in the offensive scheme, maybe just a little bit lack of development so far for those Black Knight players. As we get to see them now, I'm sure we'll see them in the second half get to play. Hopefully, you're right. Hopefully that won't be as much of a comeback for the opposing team this game, but we're going to get to see some of those players who don't normally get minutes otherwise get to develop until they'll become starters eventually.
That's something that Lieutenant Colonel Mark West, the head coach of the Black Knights, has done so well over the years, earned his 90th career cooperate with you, or either that or the audio just doesn't want to listen to me anymore. I get that at home all the time. Nicholas back to pass, throws it out to the far side, swing pass, and it's dropped. Lopez had it with space to run and just could not hang on, and it has been a Murphy's Law first half for Cornell.
You really could not get much more of an open look than that tonight for Cornell. Really unfortunate drop there in the backfield. It could have been a big gain there for the Big Red.
Not a bad play there at all from Nicholas. Well designed, and just a situation, I think, again, where maybe a player started looking downfield before they had possession. Could just be compounding frustration for Cornell tonight. Nicholas fires over the middle. Oh, picked off and then dropped. Barrialt had it, but as his feet got tangled with Colin Boyle's, lost it as he went to the ground.
Barrialt held that between both of his hands, unable to secure it as he went all the way down. Good stop there, forcing now 3rd down and 10 as we see the Big Red look to try to convert on this 3rd down that they've struggled with so much tonight.
Great idea. Just a little bit high, and an outstanding adjustment by Barrialt to come away with the pick. However, the ground had other ideas, and it's 3rd and 10 at the 25. Two receivers bunched either side. Nicholas looks for a screen pass out to the far side, gets his man Boyle, and good closing action from Army's defensive backs, forcing him out right near the 30-yard line, and it'll be another 4th down upcoming for Cornell. And again, the Big Red going to bring the punting unit out with 3:50 left on the clock. Colin Boyle with the catch there. A senior from Holyoke, Massachusetts. So again, Army back to punt, or receive the punt, I should say. Wilson to punt it away from the 15. Parker Williams back to receive it for Army. Cornell had one successful fake punt in the first quarter, and this one from Wilson, a slow floater that does take a slight Cornell roll out of bounds out near the Army 40-yard line. But right now, so far, Ross Army has had 7 drives in this game, and they have scored on 6 of them.
There's truly been nothing they can't do on offense, which is really promising as they go into this downward stretch of this season as we try to convert on all the drives, make our offense as fine-tuned as possible. It's nice to see even the second stringers, even the third stringers committing and working together with that starting group, as we're going to get to see McFadden come back out here again.
And now the second stringers across the offense have come in for the Black Knights. McFadden handoff up the middle again. J.P. Ross with a huge gash of room to run through. And he's out beyond the Army 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3 at the 46. 7-yard gain there on 1st down for Ross, who is having his best game of his career so far. Pass out near side of the local product, Stephen Craig. And that's going to be added 15 yards, a late tackle out of bounds. And I don't know what was on the mind of Cruz Meyer. Was trying to be a cruise missile along the near side, but Army not only going to move the sticks, but they'll get an extra 15 thanks to some foolishness. That, I just think, the situation, 42-0 game, nothing's going right. That just seems to be a case of just frustration boiling over.
It is frustration. It's really hard to keep a level head in this time. Down by this much, already 6 touchdowns, even though it's only the first half. It's going to be up to the leadership of that Cornell coaching staff to keep their team ready to go for the rest of the game.
Ball at the 33-yard line. McFadden back to pass. Throws it near side to the running back, Ross. And he's tackled out of bounds inside the 30. Evan Nicholas, the quarterback, also moonlighting as a DB with the tackle. 4-yard gain to the 29 with 2.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Army in no rush. There will be a 2-minute timeout at the 2-minute mark. Pass out to the far side, swings it to Ross, out beyond the 30, and shuffles himself down to the Cornell 25-yard line. Should be a gain of 4, and it'll be 3rd down and short coming up after the 2-minute timeout. So 3rd and 2 upcoming for Army at the Big Red 25 with 2 minutes to go here in the first half. And well, if you're Lieutenant Colonel Mark West, says a lot about the execution of your team in the first 30 minutes of a game that he feels comfortable enough to bring in the second unit on offense this early in the game.
It truly speaks to how confident he is with all the players on his team as a cohesive unit. I mean, not only are they West Point cadets already as a big part of a team, but he's trained them every day so far leading up to this season, making one big team, a family-like even, if you will. So it's great to see him having that much faith and trust in his backup players.
He's had that throughout the entirety of his career as a head coach here at West Point. And you ask around the athletic department, around really anyone that just comes out to athletic events here at West Point, whether you're a fan or employee, never heard a bad word about Lieutenant Colonel Mark West and how he has run this program, the type of players he has created on it, and who they are outside those white lines as cadets and as citizens. 3 receivers out to the near side for McFadden. Drops back to pass, running for his life, just flings it out to the near side. And this is likely going to be intentional grounding here on 3rd down and 2. Haven't seen a flag get thrown yet. A couple officials gathering now out near the 40-yard line, and they will throw the flag. And McFadden was left running for dear life on 3rd down and 2 and just tried to funnel it as far as he could, but off his back foot, I don't think that got to the line of scrimmage.
Cornell has liked to bring the house defensively all tonight. That was their best and most successful attempt there as they got McFadden to throw that ball away late. No receiver inside is going to cause an intentional grounding and a loss of downs on that play.
Great play for Cornell defensively, one of their best so far here tonight, especially on a play where they needed to make one on 3rd down and short. Seen Army really utilize the passing game a lot here, even with a large lead, and I wonder if so much of that has just been how successful they've been running the ball so far, trying to iron out some less efficient areas. And the Black Knights are just the 2nd time in the half going to bring out the punting unit with 1:43 to go. With Army set up 4th down back at their 39-yard line. It'll be 4th down at about 16 or so. P. Ryan just on the Army side of midfield. P. Ryan lets it fly. Short kick. Takes a great Army bounce. And the Black Knights going to down it inside the 5 at the Cornell 4. Look to be Cyrus Yarpeshkin doing a great job on return coverage. Maybe that was Kelton O'Kasich. Either way, great job by Army on special teams.
They all share that same name on the back of their jersey, don't they?
Well, some of them are different. Some say duty, some say honor, some say country.
That's true. I mean, they're not that similar, I guess.
It's all the same in terms of mindset. It's all the same goal. Duty, honor, and country. The motto here, or one of the many mottos, I should say, here at West Point. Nicholas back to pass from his own end zone. Little screen pass over the middle to Lopez. Dives himself forward out across the 10 to the 12-yard line. So 8-yard gain for the Big Red on 1st down. 2nd and 2 at the 12 with 70 seconds left in the half. Army comfortably ahead 42-0. Pass out far side to Andrew Lay. That'll be enough for a 1st down. Out of bounds with 1:03 on the clock. Second nice play today we've seen from the tight end Lay. He was the man who converted the fake punt 1st down back in the 1st quarter. Out of the Potomac School in Virginia. Penalty on Army for too many men defensively. So to the penalty of first down. So Cornell 1st and 10 inside their own 20. Nicholas rolls left, throws near sideline. And a grounder there intended for Boyle. Good coverage along the near side by the freshman Marcus Greathouse.
I like the play design so far on this drive. Started off with a screen pass, get some breathing room out of that end zone, knowing the Black Knights will bring the rush. Then second play, getting a quick out, picking up the first down, stopping the clock. And then there was another well-designed play, just unfortunately pass too short.
2nd and 10 at the 17, 51 seconds to go. Nicholas back to throw, throws for side. And the pass complete before George Donahue laid the hit at the 21. A gain of 4 out of bounds there for Lay. Second catch for him on the drive, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 at the 22. 45 seconds on the clock. Clock stopped. Cornell, 1 timeout remaining. 3 receivers near side. Low snap. Nicholas. Deep throw far sideline. And it'll be pass interference on Army. Waldron never turned around to look back at the football. Looked like Dan O'Malley got a step. And it'll be a 15-yard penalty to move the sticks with 38 seconds to go.
That was good contain of that wide receiver. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too much contain. If you don't turn your head back around and you make contact with that wide receiver, you're going to get that called against you every time. First down, gain of 15 now for the Big Red.
Massachusetts on Massachusetts crime. Waldron from Natick, Mass. O'Malley from Foxborough, the home of the Patriots. Here's Cy Nicholas running for dear life, and he just fires it into a slew of black jerseys along the Army bench. Walker Carswell, the senior, was chasing him. Carswell hoping to branch infantry when he graduates from West Point this upcoming spring. Branch night coming up before the end of the calendar year is over here at West Point. Branch night when the senior class, the upcoming graduating class, will find out what branch of the military they'll be serving in upon graduation. And then in the spring it'll be post night when they find out where they'll be starting at their military careers, at which military base, which state. So pass out near side, complete to Boyle. It'll be 3rd down upcoming, just shy of the 45-yard line. 3rd and 4, 13 seconds to go. Pass out near side, complete to Madera Castellanos. It looks like he's going to be a yard short, right at the first down marker. Looks like they will give Cornell the first down with 10 seconds to go. The ball at their own 45-yard line. And sort of at a point here for Cornell, and just got to put in the guy who can throw the ball the furthest and see how far he can chuck it.
You do. You got 1 timeout, so maybe you can set up a field goal here. You have to get the ball quickly, though.
There he goes, deep down the left side, incomplete. Try to get it to Boyle again. And now it'll be 2nd down with 5 seconds to go in the half.
Maybe one more heave downfield, or they'll play conservative. Either way, only 1 more play remaining in this half.
Good coverage down the near side for the Black Knights. But here, what should be the final play of the first half. 5 seconds to go. Army up 42-0. 1st and 10. Cornell at their own 44. Nicholas in shotgun. Takes the snap. They'll pitch it. Pitch it again. It'll be a wide receiver pass. Boyle looking to fling it out far side for Nicholas. Tipped and intercepted. Intercepted by Trey McCardell. And that's how Army closes out the first half. McCardell's first career interception. And at the break, it's Army West Point 42 and Cornell nothing. What an exclamation point to close out a dominant first 30 minutes.
Yes, the Big Red tried to go with trickery there, tried to catch the Black Knights off guard, but unfortunately the Black Knights are probably the team that's least likely to happen to. So good poise there to stay on the wide receivers and account for the quarterback going out for a pass. pass, able to tip and get an interception there.
Seemed like part of the design there was just trying to extend that beginning of the play as long as they could to get some receivers deep down the field. But Army defensively doing a great job swarming to the football as they did in the entirety of the first half here tonight. We talked about it earlier today. First half effectiveness for both these teams. Army, how dominant they've been. Army scoring more points in the first half here tonight than they've given up in the first half the entire season. And the offense, Ross, before we had to break, just been a well-oiled machine. Only 2 points in the first half, and really the only reason they punted the ball twice were just some unforced errors that put them behind the sticks. Just outstanding execution from the line, receivers, running backs, and the quarterbacks, both West and McFadden. Exquisite.
A well-oiled machine indeed. There's really been nothing this offense hasn't been able to do. Even with their second-string quarterback in, they've been able to run the ball, able to pass the ball, quick pass, deep pass, screen passes, slants across the middle of the field, post routes, corner routes. So basically been able to get anything they want done on offense, which is nice, letting the coaches pick out different offensive plays, see how they work to prepare for that championship game later on.
Army has outscored their opponents 161 to 22 in the first half so far this season. We'll take a break here on Night Vision from YouTube. At the half, Army West Point on senior night, firmly in command. It's the Black Knights 42 and the Cornell University Big Red nothing. We'll have stats and highlights of the first half coming up in just a matter of moments. You're watching senior night coverage of the CSFL on Night Vision from YouTube. From Shea Stadium here on the campus of the United States Military Academy at West Point. Second half about to get underway. Army a 42-0 lead over Cornell alongside Ross Graham. I'm Justin Rock, and Ross, it was a rather lopsided first 30 minutes here today, and what a first half it was for Army running back Henry Beck. He outgained Cornell by himself in the first 30 minutes here today. Over 200 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. He was unstoppable in the first 30 minutes.
He was. We talked about it before the game, what's going to be like with this new running back coming in. And when I say new, it's hard to say because he is a senior. He was all-star last year. So coming back into his starting role again, Henry Beck, as we see, 202 yards, 22.5 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns for that really big 74-yard run. It was amazing watching him burst through the holes and be agile, be shifty, be able to block, get away from all defenders, and able to set the tone for this fast-moving, fast-paced Black Knight offense that scored out well in the first half.
Yeah, a couple of 60-plus yard runs for Beck in that first half, and the stats in the first half were rather eye-gouging. You look at the total numbers, Ross, 341 yards of total offense for Army, 44 for Cornell in that first half here today, and you add in the fact that Cornell had 114 yards of penalty yards in the first half. They had more penalty yards than total yards, and it's just not a successful combination.
It is not. It's hard to watch. We see they had 40 offensive plays as well for 44 yards, only barely giving up more than a yard, or gaining a yard, that is, on offense. It's really hard to watch, but I'm confident that the Cornell offense came into halftime and now is coming back out, ready to go with a new game plan in mind, able to try to get this offense rolling again. Unfortunately, since they did elect to receive in the first half, they're going to have to go on defense to start this half, but I'm looking to see a spark in this Cornell offense and defense as we start the second half.
So it'll be Noah Wilson to kick it away for Cornell to start the second half. It'll be an onside kick, and ball is loose. Penalty marker is thrown. Cornell thinks they have it, but a flag is down. I don't think that ball went far enough down the field. Army's defense is coming out. Cornell recovered, but there is a flag down at the beginning of that play. And Army's defense quickly running off the field. Here comes the offense, and this is going to be on the Big Red.
I'm not going to lie, I set a spark to start the half. I was not quite expecting an onside kick, but hey, it makes things fun.
There was an infraction on Cornell on the kickoff, and they're going to re-kick here after the onside kick. So Army's special teams unit, not the offense, has come back out with Yarpeshkin, the deep man, to receive. And it was a false start on Cornell. When have you seen that? A false start on a kickoff.
I can see it happening on an onside kick. You're trying to get to that 10-yard marker and catch the ball before the receiving team. I can see it's just getting antsy. It's going too fast and not letting the play develop as it should and waiting for the ball to be snapped.
So Wilson will have another opportunity to kick it. We'll see if they'll go for another onside opportunity here. And they will not. Kicks it away along the far side. Macklin Murtha from about the Army 15-yard line out across the 35, down by the 40. Looked like the ball might have come out at one point, but Army has it. And the Black Knights will start their drive, but there is a flag down back at around the 30-yard line, as well as a Cornell player injured out by the far 30.
This one's going to end up coming back against the Black Knight receiving team.
So a sloppy start to the second half. Both teams committing penalties on the opening kickoff. First Cornell, now Army. Andrew Lay, the injured player, down on the field for Cornell.
On Army, 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. First and 10 at the 23.
So a 10-yard penalty for Army from the spot of the foul. And as a result, the Black Knights will start their first drive of the second half back at their own 23-yard line. Carson McFadden staying under center. Garrett Bolivar in for the first time today. He's split to the quarterback's left. McFadden takes the snap. They hand it off to Bolivar up the middle. Out across the 25 and brought down just shy of the 30 at the 28. 5-yard gain there on first down. And one of the newest members of this offense, Garrett Bolivar, the freshman from Mooresville, North Carolina. Tilley to the near side wide. Bolivar in the slot. Craig slot far side. McFadden in shotgun. Craig in motion. They pitch it on a little forward pass here to Craig, out across the 30, down near the 35, and that'll be enough for an Army first down. Even though he shoveled it, it's a forward feed and thus a forward pass. And Stephen Craig, second catch of the night for him, and Army a first down out by their own 39. Bunch formation. Bolivar to the left of McFadden. They pitch it to Bolivar running left. Across the 35 down to the 40. A good gain there for Army on first down. Gain of about 4 or 5 on first down. And even with the second and third string offense in there for the Black Knights, still finding ways to pick up chunk yardage on first down.
It's been cool to see the trickery in the play call so far, all keeping the ball on the ground to keep the clock rolling. But as we see another foot play out to the other right side.
Same play out to Kason Mackey far side, and a great tackle up around the shoulder pads. Mackey trying to find a way to get out to the far edge. Cornell able to make the stop for no gain, and it's 3rd down and 5 for Mackey, just his second game of the season. And his 3rd reception. So 3rd down and 5 upcoming for Army. Black Knights 1 of 5 on 3rd down in the first half. 12:42 on the clock here in the 3rd. McFadden back to pass, throws. He's got Matthew Tilley, the senior. And the ball comes out at the last second. Scramble for it down near the 45-yard line. And who has it? And it looks like Army came on top of it.
I think that ball exchanged hands several times as it waddled around on the ground.
Kason Mackey recovers, and it's going to be 4th down and short upcoming for Army. That fumble might have cost Army the marker. Tilley was very close. And it looks like the Black Knights going to keep the offense on the field here with 4th and 1 at their own 44. Bolivar to the left of McFadden. They hand it off. Bolivar able to make the first man miss. He's got the first down across the 45, across midfield, and he was a tackler away from breaking it all the way. Garrett Bolivar very nearly went the distance. Army again nearly going the distance on a 4th and short play.
Kim there by the Cornell defense, able to prevent touchdown there. Great run there by the running back, able to get forward gain for a first down.
Another great play by Elliott Kim as Bolivar out across the Cornell 40-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard pickup, and 2nd down and 5 for Army. Has been a very methodical drive for the Black Knights here to start the second half, nearing about 4 minutes time of possession. Everyone's had a hand in this drive. Mackey, Craig, Tilley, Bolivar. Getting everybody involved on offense. Pitch it out right side. Bolivar trying to get to the edge. Looked like he could for a second. Out just past the 40-yard line, but a flag thrown over on the far end of the field, and it will be a holding penalty against the Black Knights. Bolivar trying desperately to get out to that far edge. So the Black Knights will be backed up here on 2nd down.
Holding against the offense.
And you look at the penalties in the first half, and it was heavily skewed against Cornell. 9 penalties for 114 yards against the Big Red in the first half. Army just 4 penalties for 39. Second and 14, back at their own 49. McFadden takes the snap, looks right, now rolls right, trying to get to the edge, able to do so, now fires down the sideline, and incomplete. A late flag comes out from the near side. Pass thrown in the direction of Braden Jones, and we'll see what the whistle is here, as it's been a laundry-filled start to the second half. It'll be an illegal man downfield against Army. So back-to-back penalties against the Black Knights, and there's also some penalties. You may see a lot of guys on the field maybe getting their first real extended playing time on the gridiron. Some slight mistakes, so second down and 19. Back at the 46-yard line. McFadden back to pass, screen pass near side. Making one man miss was Kason Mackey. Maybe a loss of a yard on the play out by the Army 45. And it was indeed a loss of one, and it'll be 3rd and 20 now for the Black Knights.
Despite the offensive struggles on this drive, this right here is what makes the great teams great, because they let their young players get experience when the scoreboard doesn't matter. They let them play out here. That way when they come to take over the reins, they're ready to go.
3 receivers out wide to the far side. Craig in the slot. Back to pass McFadden. Under pressure, deep down the left side, looking for Tilley, and he's got him! Tilley all the way down inside the Cornell 30-yard line. On 3rd down and forever, Matthew Tilley, the senior from Baton Rouge, makes a massive play on senior night. Just a great adjust to that ball. Defensive back overran it. Tilley had his eyes on the pigskin the whole time. What a play by Matthew Tilley. Now Bolivar up the middle. And he's down near the 20-yard line of Cornell. 5-yard gain or so on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 2. 8-yard gain, as a matter of fact, from the Cornell 17. Bolivar to the right of McFadden. 2 receivers either side. McFadden back to pass, throws over the middle and incomplete. Try to thread the needle to Mackey. Looked like Evan Nicholas broke it up. We've seen a lot of guys here in the second half that, especially on the wideout position, that maybe hadn't received as much playing time in recent weeks. Seen Braden Jones get a ball thrown his way. Kason Mackey playing just his 2nd game of the year. McFadden empty backfield, fires it out far side. Got his man, that appears to be Braden Jones. And if that is indeed Braden Jones, it'll be the first catch of his college career, the freshman from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And it was indeed Jones. It'll be an Army first down. Ball at the Cornell 14. Just on the doorsteps of the goal line. Handoff. Bolivar. Rather, McFadden kept it. Good fake. Out to the far side, trying to find Stephen Craig. Incomplete. 2nd down for Army. And this opening drive of the second half, Ross, it's taken almost half of the 3rd quarter.
And that's exactly what the Army coaches want. They took the ball over with 14 or so minutes left in this 3rd quarter, already bringing it down to nearly 8 minutes to go. Great job progressing the ball down the field and taking their time, chewing us some of this 3rd quarter clock.
Yeah, this is still the first drive here of the second half. Bolivar to the left of McFadden. McFadden takes a snap, rolls out left, looking downfield. McFadden going to keep it down the far side. McFadden on the keeper. So McFadden will pick up a small gain there on first down.
Third 9 from the 10.
It'll be 3rd down and 9 upcoming for Army from the 10-yard line. Calm, cool, and quiet Friday night here on the banks of the Hudson River. McFadden in shotgun, man in motion, takes a snap, and the play blown dead.
No, I told her, I'm like, I realize you've been in my apartment, you're barely in the window. I said, I know.
Well, there was no penalty, a timeout taken by Army, no penalty, so that'll be the first charge timeout for Army here in this second half. First timeout they've taken here today. They've got 2 timeouts remaining, 7:26 to go here in this third quarter. Army, a perfect 5-0 in the league. They'll close out the regular season next weekend. Black Knights will be on the road against the newest member of the CSFL, Malloy University, 7 o'clock next Friday night on the road. This will not be the final home game for the Black Knights this season. Army has already clinched a spot in the CSFL championship game coming up on November the 16th. So this Army team will not only play in the championship game, but as the result of their win over Navy earlier this year, they will host the CSFL championship game for the 2nd consecutive season. Army now with 3rd and 8 out of the timeout. Ball at the 9, still can pick up the first down. Fake handoff to Bolivar, throws over the middle, and caught for an Army touchdown. It looked to be Stephen Craig for 6. And with 7:22 to go in the fourth quarter, Army has a 48-0 lead. I stand corrected. It was the senior Matthew Tilley who picks up his first touchdown of the season, the first touchdown of his career. And Army, their first score of the second half, a near 8-minute drive to start the third quarter. Cueto now for the PAT. And the point after try up and good. And so it's 7:22 to go in the third quarter. Army, a long opening drive for the second half, a 4th down conversion, able to overcome a couple of penalties along the way as well. But what a drive for Matthew Tilley, the long conversion on 3rd and forever, and ultimately closing it out with his first career touchdown.
Two big plays there highlighted by Matthew Tilley on that drive, but it's also got to feel great for that whole offense, especially their freshman quarterback McFadden there. Really fulfilling to see his team marched all the way down there under his command, setting themselves up for another touchdown in this third quarter as we took over half the quarter just on that one drive. So it's got to be satisfactory and fulfilling for that young freshman quarterback, aided by the help of his senior wide receiver also.
So a 49-0 lead for Army. With 7:22 to go here in the third quarter, it has been all Black Knights since the moment this game got underway. Castellanos on the return for Cornell up along the left side. And out just beyond the 20 is Madera Castellanos. And so Cornell will start their first drive of the second half, 1st and 10 at their own 22.
Craig on the stop.
This Army defense outstanding in the first half. Army has dominated this series against Cornell over the last couple of years. You look back, last 3 years, dating back to the 2022 campaign, Army has now outscored Cornell 184-0. That is how dominant the Black Knights have been in recent seasons. Nicholas on the keeper to the near side, able to get to the near sideline. Penalty marker down as looked to be Marcus Greathouse to force him out. And there have been a plethora of penalties here to start this second half. Both sides have been guilty. And there'll be another penalty against Cornell. That is the 10th against Cornell so far here tonight. So ball spotted all the way back down inside their own 20 at the 13-yard line. Nicholas back to pass, throws it out near his side and dropped. Well, what else is new? Another penalty down. O'Malley, the intended receiver. Greathouse on the coverage. Looks like it'll be offsides against Army this time.
Roughing the passer on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh, some sort of...
First and 10 at the 27.
Some sort of personal foul penalty against Army there. Didn't see what exactly happened. Looked like they motioned offside. Maybe a chop block, I'm not sure. Cornell will have first and 10 at their own 28. Nicholas fakes the pass, keeps it. Off right tackle, make a couple of men miss out to the near sideline. And finally shoved out of bounds. Looked to be Evan Sawyer who made the hit. That might be one of the best, if not the best, offensive play we've seen so far from Cornell. On the first play on this drive, we haven't seen a flag.
That's right. He was able to gain the first down there because of his legs, because of his speed. Good decision making there to not pitch the ball, keep it on the ground himself, and pick up the first down.
That handoff going nowhere. Kevin Lopez, the ball carrier. So no gain there. It'll be second down at 10 for Cornell at their own 43 for the Big Red. They'll head back home up to Ithaca. They'll close out the regular season next Friday night at home against Mansfield. 7 o'clock start up in Ithaca, New York. This one down the far sideline and a couple of penalties thrown on the play. Try to find Boyle down the far sideline. That'll be the second defensive pass interference call that'll go against Army's Drew Waldron here so far tonight. And so a couple of 15-yard penalties on this drive for Cornell, putting them right on the precipice of plus territory. An area they really haven't been a whole lot so far tonight.
That one was a better drive there by Waldron, though, able to actually get his head around, maintain contact with the receiver. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much contact too early, brought that receiver to the ground before he was able to make a legitimate play on the ball, which is why they got that pass interference called against him.
So a couple of costly mistakes from Army on their first defensive drive of the half. 6:02 to go here in the third quarter. Nicholas fakes the handoff, rolls out to the far side, tries to escape, does it first, hoists it deep over the middle, had a man and incomplete. Oh, Colin Boyle somehow snuck behind the safeties. A great throw from Nicholas, but a little bit too good. And Boyle couldn't quite get underneath it. It'll be second down at 10. Great idea there from Nicholas, who was all-league second team a year ago, has been honorable mention on both offense and defense in this league in his career. 45 minutes or so away in Demarest, New Jersey, as that pass over the middle, and oh my goodness, Jarrett Bessarge with an absolute haymaker of a hit, and about as clean of a hit as you'll see in football these days, to create an incompletion on second down. Oh my goodness. Trying to get it to Sawyer Tierney over the middle. Well, Bessarge laid the lumber. Third and 10, 5:49 on the clock. Nicholas flushed out of the pocket left, throws, and incomplete. A reprieve for Drew Waldron, who made a great left-handed stop to knock that pass away, and it's fourth down.
That was an excellent ability to get his left hand around and force an incompletion there by Waldron. Now he's going to bring up a fourth down. That one play right there stopped that drive. Good job by Waldron. Get his hand around and force an incompletion.
So 49-0. 5:43 to go. Fourth down for Cornell on the positive side of midfield. But the way things have been going tonight, Cornell going to set up to punt. But the way Big Red have operated things today, no guarantee that they will let this one fly. They do have a unique formation here on this punt. And the play blown dead. And it's going to be delay of game against Cornell. Maybe taking the 5-yard penalty to give the punter Wilson a little bit more space. Try and pin the Black Knights deep within their own territory. Just past 9 o'clock here in the East alongside Ross Graham. I'm Justin Rock. Glad to have you with us tonight. Army a 49-0 lead. Will be a punt from Wilson. Beautiful high arcing kick. Williams will let it bounce, and it takes an Army roll into the end zone for a touchback, and so Army will start the drive at their own 20-yard line. Army a very methodical drive. Their first possession of the second half, marching all the way down the field. Carson McFadden's second touchdown pass today. Able to find, actually rather was his first touchdown pass today now that I think about it. It was 5 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown in the first half. Winds picked up here at West Point here in the second half. A little more chill in the air. Temperatures dropped about 7 or 8 degrees since kickoff here tonight. Now in the low 60s. Yarpeshkin in motion. Handoff up the middle to Tristan Davis. He's out beyond the 25, out near the 30. And should be right at the first down marker. And it will be enough for an Army first down as Tristan Davis moves the sticks, playing the second game of his young career. Freshman out of Bentonville, Arkansas.
It's been fun to watch all these new freshmen take the first meaningful snaps tonight, contribute to this offense already. Third and fourth quarter now coming in.
It's the second game of his career. McFadden rolls right, fires it over the middle, incomplete. A late flag thrown, trying to get it to Stephen Craig. Alexi DiDonato on the coverage. And it'll be on Army there, a penalty. So Black Knights have made their fair share of mistakes here in the second half. Still up 49-0. There's a holding penalty against Army. Will back them up to first down at 20. Back at their own 20-yard line. 4:54 to go here in the third quarter. Yarpeshkin in motion left to right. Handoff near side. Davis trying to get past that initial tackler. An outstanding wrap up there by Zeke Huang. Sophomore from Mount Sinai, New York. Same high school as the kicker and punter Noah Wilson.
Marshall in on the stop. Second and 20 from the 20.
So second and 20 now for the Black Knights. Going the wrong direction so far on this drive after a great first run by Davis. Another handoff to Davis up the middle beyond the 25, back across the 30-yard line and down just shy of the 35, so about a 13-yard gain will make it a little bit more manageable for the Black Knights upcoming on third down.
Good hole there made by the offensive line. The second string and third string offensive line still able to produce quality holes for the Black Knight rushers to run through.
49-0 Army with just under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Third down and 8 at the 32. McFadden drops back, has time over the middle, low throw, and unable to squeeze it was Stephen Craig as he sprawled over by the center field logo.
Craig was open there, but unfortunately the pass just falls a little bit too short. Had to go grab that ball at his ankles and unable to connect.
Craig, who started his career as a defensive back on this Army team, has since taken over as a wideout here since the tail end of last year. Army going to punt it away with 3:42 on the clock. Pirine back to punt inside his own 20. Good pressure from Cornell. Got it away, and a fair catch called for right at about the Cornell 40. It to be Elliott Kim who made the fair catch there for the Big Red. But as we mentioned a few moments ago, Army, this will not be our final broadcast here on YouTube. We will have the coverage of the CSFL Championship game coming up on November the 16th. That's a Saturday, right here from Shea Stadium. The question is, who will Army play Big game in the South Division tonight, seemingly making that decision a little bit more clear. Some jump. They let the play go. They're going to call it on the defense. Pass down the near side, and neither target was ready for it. Greathouse on the coverage for Army. O'Malley, the receiver, intended there. Clock stopped with 3.5 to go. Offside on Army. There have been about 7 or 8 penalties on the Black Knights in this third quarter alone, and there's still 3.5 minutes left to go in the period. But you look at that Navy-Penn game right now, the de facto South Division Championship game. Navy with 4:16 to go down in Annapolis, a 31-0 lead on the Quakers, who are undefeated entering the night. And Navy seems to be on their way to forcing yet another Army-Navy championship game coming up in a couple of weeks. Pass over the middle, incomplete. Good hands there from Waldron to break up the pass intended for Colin Boyle. So 2nd down and 5 at the Cornell 43-yard line. Busy day of football on campus tomorrow as well. That pass from Nicholas far side through the hands of Madera Castellanos, incomplete. 3rd and 5. An Army and Air Force tomorrow afternoon from Mikey Stadium.
And that would be number 21 in the nation, Army Black Knights.
Number 21 against a struggling Air Force team, just 1-6, but always going to be tightly contested, always hotly contested in a Service Academy rivalry matchup. Nicholas flushed left, chased by Carter, a penalty marker thrown, and Gang tackled out of bounds along the far sideline. Samuel Curtis helping out on the pressure there, but a flag down in the backfield, and it'll be holding against Cornell.
And this abundance of penalties on both teams has really slowed down this quarter that was already off to a hot start.
I was going to say, by the end of this third quarter, the officials' wrists are going to be exhausted from the amount of times they've had to throw those flags. So Army electing to decline the penalty. Result of that play was 4th down. So no gain on that play out to the far sideline. 4th and 5 with 3:15 on the clock. Parker Williams back to receive for Army at their own 15-yard line, as Cornell will punt it away once again here tonight, as this Black Knight defense continuing to pitch a shutout. Low line drive kick. Williams takes it on a big hop and then takes a knee inside the 20 at about the 17-yard line, and that's where the Black Knights will start their drive here with 3:08 to go in this third quarter. But an exciting game coming up tomorrow, as we mentioned, Army and Air Force. First time the Falcons have come to campus since 2020, and even longer than that, since the last time they played here at West Point, really in front of a crowd. Of course, that 2020 season, a little bit awkward, but Army coming away with wins over Air Force and Navy at Mikey Stadium, something that hasn't happened a whole lot, at least in terms of games hosting both academies here on post. And off for Bolivar running left, and like a pinball, barreling himself out across the 20, just shy of the 25, will be an Army first down. That is Gabe Bolivar, not Garrett Bolivar. I think I worked with a Garrett Bolivar somewhere along the line. I think that's where I made that mistake. So my apologies. Gabe Bolivar, who's had a fantastic start to the second half for the Black Knights here today. Appreciate our watchers and listeners keeping me honest, as Bolivar on the carry. Out across the 25, just shy of the 30. Pine Lake Prep High School in North Carolina.
The atmosphere for Army Air Force is always exciting, and it's going to be beautiful weather tomorrow for the afternoon game between the two service academies. Super exciting, as they all will be, especially with an undefeated Black Knight team.
Second leg out of 3 in the Commanders-in-Chief Trophy. Navy beating Air Force earlier this year. Army trying to force a winner-take-all game against Navy in mid-December. Hand off to Bolivar, bounces off a tackler. Brought down short of the 35-yard line. Bolivar, another big chunk play. 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 from the 33. It'll be a cool scene. Hard to believe there's only one more home game for Army football. The big boy team, that is. And I guess in theory for both teams after tonight and tomorrow. Remainder of the regular season. Bolivar cutting out right. Spins off a tackler and brought down out across the 40. 7-yard gain and another first down for the Black Knights.
And looking even further, another week ahead again, the Black Knights are facing off in Yankee Stadium against the Fighting Irish. I don't know if you'll be going to that game. I think you were tracking the last game with the midshipmen, and the Navy lost there. So that'll be fun to see how the Black Knights fare in that game.
It's been an incredible season for Army football, both in sprint and in Division I football this year, as McFadden's pass near side falls incomplete. So 2nd and 10 upcoming for Army from their own 40. 57 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 3 receivers out to the near side. Well, the job Jeff Monken has done at West Point since taking over right around a decade or so ago. One of the greatest jobs done in college football probably in the last half a century, if not more. As Tristan Davis refusing to go down. Careens himself across midfield. Another Army first down on the Cornell side of the 50.
Clock continuing to tick with one more snap. Going to have to come off before the third quarter clock can end. 31 seconds to go.
Hand off to Davis up the middle, trying to cut right. Stayed upright for a second. Maybe picked up a small gain. I was able to get more than I thought. Probably a gain of 3 or 4. 2nd down and 7 at the Cornell 42. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Army no need to run a play before the end of the period. And Lieutenant Colonel Mark West's crew very content to let the rest of the clock roll off. We head to the fourth quarter here from Shea Stadium. It has been all Black Knights on senior night. Army West Point 49, Cornell nothing. You're watching CSFL football on Night Vision from YouTube. First play of the period. Bolivar up the middle. He's loose down the far sideline. He's in for a touchdown, but a flag is down all the way back at the Cornell 45-yard line, and unfortunately Bolivar's first career touchdown is coming back with a hold.
All too common so far throughout this entire night, penalty after penalty after penalty. But hey, it'll make for some nice action photos down that sideline though. But unfortunately, it's going to get wiped out, bringing up another long first down for the Black Knights.
Great run from Gabriel Bolivar, but was a little bit too good with the holding flag. Army backed up to 2nd and 17 on their own side of the 50 at the 48. McFadden handoff up the middle. Bolivar making 2 3-man miss. Brought down inside the Cornell 45 at about the 44. So 3rd down upcoming. 8-yard gain there. 3rd and 9. 30 seconds into this fourth quarter. Army firmly in command, 49-0. En route to a 6-0 start to the season. We'll close out the regular season next Friday night on the road against Malloy University. newest member of the CSFL. McFadden stepping up, rolling left, chase from behind, going to keep it, turns the corner, and he's very close to the first down marker. Haven't seen the QB scramble a lot this year for Army. But Carson McFadden showing a little bit of speed there to the outside.
I was about to say the same thing, Justin. I don't know if we've seen him on the ground very much, taking off and running, but great run there. Getting very close to the sticks. They might call it a couple yards shy.
Out of John Carroll Catholic High School in Alabama, same high school that produced former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Pat Sullivan. Fadden trying to follow in that tradition. Clock stopped at 14:08. The 4th down and 3 for Army at the 38 of Cornell. McFadden handoff to Bolivar up the middle. He's going to pick up the first down out beyond the 30 and just shy of the Big Red 25-yard line as the Black Knights again move the chains on a 4th and short.
Able to do whatever they want virtually on this ground. No matter the setbacks that come from the penalties, they're still able to recuperate from that, pick up another first down. Clock's now 13:39 to go in this 4th quarter.
Army was perfect on 4th down in the first half and been more of the same in the second half. Finds Craig on a little curl pattern near side, keeps going to the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Army. Stephen Craig, his 2nd touchdown of the season. I misidentified him earlier on Matthew Tilley's touchdown. Now he makes me correct. Craig is in for 6, and Army a 55-0 lead on McFadden's 3rd touchdown pass.
McFadden took over midway through the 2nd quarter, hasn't looked back since, able to command this team as if he was the starter, leading for the majority of this game now, able to put another touchdown on the board.
What a performance off the bench for Carson McFadden tonight. This time Stephen Craig with the score. And Army West Point with 13:26 to go have taken a 56-0 lead here over Cornell. The 56 points matching Army's season high. Army has scored 40 or more in each of their last 4 games and 30 or more in 5 of their 6 this season. Just truly incredible what they've been able to do on both sides of the ball this season.
13:26 now to go in this 4th quarter as the Black Knights get set to kick off.
Army on the verge of yet another victory in this series against Cornell. Big Red have not beaten the Black Knights since the 2010 season. And as the wind picks up and the temperature continues to get cooler, ball flopping off the tee there. So now Pirine set to kick it away. He's kicked it out the back of the end zone pretty much every time he's let it fly in this direction tonight. And this one no different. Touchback, and the Big Red will take over at their own 25 with 13:26 to go. It has been all Army tonight. They have just utterly dominated the series between these two programs over the last several years. You look at it, including tonight, Army has outscored Cornell 191-0 over the last nearly 3 seasons, including tonight.
Statistical figures that are hard to believe, but give credit to Coach West not being complacent and continuing to get his team ready to go year after year.
Well, it's also hard to call off the dogs when your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string players are getting opportunities. A call to the bullpen for Cornell as they bring in their backup quarterback, Charles Snyder. And he gets hit as he throws. That one falls out of bounds by the Cornell bench with 13:19 to go. The senior from New York, out of Brooklyn Technical High School, was the punter the Big Red last year when these two teams met up in Ithaca. Snyder, man to his left, drops back, little screen pass trying to get it to Nicholas, who's now the running back. Pass was behind the line of scrimmage. Nicholas tried to pick it up, but the ball rolls out of bounds along the near side, helped up by Evan Sawyer. So when you talk about a guy doing everything tonight, Evan Nicholas, You thought it might be an easier stretch for him, and no longer playing quarterback. Okay, now sort of be a multifaceted guy as a running back and receiver.
Smart decision there to line him up as a running back, go for that wheel route on that near side. Unfortunately, that pass just too high and out of the reach of Nicholas's. Luckily, the ball goes out of bounds and it's not a turnover for the Big Red.
Well, not much better. A loss of 11. Third down at 21, back at their own 14. Snyder rolling right, throws back to the near side. Sawyer Tierney makes the catch, and he might have lost a yard again. George Donahue on the stop. Samuel Curtis there as well. Curtis, the freshman from Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. And it will be no gain. Fourth down upcoming for Cornell, who will bring their punting unit back out.
Large fourth down here on this play as they're getting ready to punt. 12:18 to go and counting in this fourth quarter. 56-0 Black Knights.
Great to see DeAndre Brunings on the field for the Black Knights. Hasn't played in the first 5 games this season. Brunings over on the far end of the formation for the Black Knights. In black, Cornell back to punt. This one off the right foot of Wilson. Williams will let it bounce. Careen's left and out of bounds on the Cornell side of midfield at about the 45-yard line. So Army West Point will take over. 11:51 to go, up 56-0. And if you're Mark West, his offensive coaching staff, what's your message at this point to your players? I mean, this has been a lopsided game. Doesn't seem like it matters who Army has put into the game. They've found ways to have success. What's a coaching message you have for your team in a situation like this?
Your mentality needs to be keep control of the ball, don't turn the ball over, and keep picking up yards on the ground. Stay in bounds no matter what you do. Keep the clock rolling. Continue to keep going.
Tristan Davis to the near side. Cornell does a good job forcing him out along the near side. But forced out of bounds. Clock will still run here with under 12 minutes left to go. Great to see Tristan Davis get a ton of run here in the second half. Former high school men's soccer player as well. Out of Bentonville High School in Arkansas. Same high school that produced NBA 6th Man of the Year, Malik Monk. Hand off to Bolivar. Jack knifes his way through a couple of tacklers out to the Cornell 35, where his forward progress is blown dead. Should be about a 5-yard gain or so. Should be third and short upcoming for Army.
As we now dip under 11 minutes to go in the ballgame.
And some of those cars that are parked on the grass between the track and the actual parking lot starting to pull off into the night as Army's result, barring the greatest comeback in the history of comebacks, firmly in command. Fadden takes the snap, hand off to Bolivar, up the middle, trying to cut to the near side, and finally thrust down from behind at the 31-yard line. Tackle made by Derek Marrero, a Whitesboro, New York native. Hudson Valley Community College transfer, not too far away from here. 10 minutes to go, 1st and 10, Army at the Cornell 21-yard line. 56-0 our score. And Army knocking on the door of a 60-burger. I guess as Jeff Munkin watching this is saying, how do we find a way to mimic this tomorrow? Handoff, running right, Davis. Out to about the 21-yard gain. A busy day of football tomorrow. Not only the Silver Star on the line and the battle for the CIC trophy. Penn State, Ohio State as well tomorrow at noon. First time Penn State has hosted a top 5 matchup since 1999. It's been a long time. So if you've got 2 TVs at home, you're going to want to set up one on the Army Air Force game tomorrow. And if you're a Penn State alum like myself, you're going to have Penn State, Ohio State on the other.
9 minutes to go and counting now. fourth quarter, coming up with a third down and medium.
Third down and 8. Ball at the Cornell 19. 3 receivers out to the far side. McFadden looking back to the Army bench. Not a bad night not to have your leading rusher and Arthur Lavallee. Still a 56-0 lead. Bolivar takes the handoff this time, still keeping those legs churning. Maybe a 1-yard gain to the 18, and now Army set up with 4th down and 7. 8.5 minutes to go. Not going to bring the field goal unit on to try and rub in the score. Going to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down. Seems like Army's been almost unstoppable on the 4th downs here tonight. It's probably Army's longest distance to go on a 4th here tonight. Takes the snap. Handoff Bolivar up the middle, and he's tripped up. Good tackle made, shoestring tackle made there. Looked to be Daniel Meter, the freshman from Sherman, New York, playing his first game of his career tonight, and he makes a 4th down stop. And with 7:51 to go, the Big Red will take over on downs.
It'll be fun to see what kind of offense they come out with, which quarterback they put back in the game. Hopefully able to get some momentum, some yards here as this game winds to an end here.
Looks like Evan Nicholas has returned as the signal caller for the Big Red. Snyder back on the Cornell bench after that drive. They fake the handoff under pressure. Nicholas running for his life, and he's sacked. Tyrus Carter brings him down all the way at the Cornell 14-yard line. First career sack for the native of Red Bud, Illinois.
Nicholas has evaded those most of the night, so good job there by Black Knights to force a sack there, bring up now 2nd down and long.
Army had not picked up much sacks the last few weeks. Large part, some good running quarterbacks able to evade the pressure. Nicholas now fires a deep right side, and did O'Malley hang on? Yeah, he did. Oh, what a catch along the far side. Was that O'Malley or was that Boyle? It was Boyle who made the grab. 1-on-1 against Drew Waldron. And a big play there to move the sticks. First down at the 36.
That time Waldron just didn't have good positioning on the receiver and unable to make a stop there.
Handoff up the middle. And Lopez runs into a massive humanity. That's the other thing you noticed with this Cornell team is just the lack of depth. Lopez has been the main feature back the whole game. Outside of that one drive, Nicholas been the feature quarterback in this game. I haven't really seen any other halfbacks get opportunities in the backfield today for Cornell.
Just another one of those struggles Cornell hasn't been able to use to their advantage, and it's cost them a lot in this game. Nicholas
running right, trying to escape. And Army with good pressure. DeAndre Bruning's forcing it off the far end. Bruning's a guy who played running back his first several years and getting some opportunities on the defensive line here tonight. And a loss of yards there will be 3rd down at 13, back at the 33.
Score remains 56-0 Black Knights. Under 6 minutes now to go.
56-0 Army. Black Knights matching their season best in points. And Cornell going to call their first charge timeout here in the second half. With 5:48 remaining, both teams with 2 timeouts left. This Cornell trying to find a way to move the sticks here on 3rd down. This just as much about trying to create some good execution here in the final few minutes and try and keep this drive going for an opportunity to break up the shutout.
Definitely, it'll be a big confidence booster if they are able to get some points on the board, just to help the overall team morale as they're going to go into their final regular season game of the year next season. Hoping to build some momentum now that they can carry into next week with the result of this game all but solidified. Just trying to get their team to have their chins up high and play hard for the final 5.5 minutes to go.
And this is an Army team looking for its 2nd shutout of the season, trying to start and end the regular season at home without allowing a single point. 2 receivers either side, 5:48 to go. 3rd and 13 Cornell at their own 33. Back to pass Nicholas. fires over the middle. He's got his man. It's Lopez, I believe, all the way down towards midfield. Well-designed play for Cornell on 3rd down and long, and the Big Red move the sticks.
Exactly what I had just talked about. Good job by the Big Red, able to force now into the Black Knights side of the field, getting some momentum to go 5.5 with on the score.
Now, Lopez played some defense last year for Cornell. First time we've really seen him out of the backfield as a pass catcher today. As Nicholas, a little jump throw far side, trying to get it over the D line. Incomplete. Looked to be Andrew Lay, maybe the intended receiver there. Actually, correction, that was John He, the intended target.
2nd and 10 from the 49.
Queens, New York, out of Syosset High School. So 5:11 to go, 2nd down at 10. Ball at the 49. Nicholas running right, and Army getting into the backfield. Nicholas slipped away from the first swarm. Tyrus Carter would not let him get away. And 3rd and long now for Cornell with under 5 to play.
That time, a whole host of Army defenders got to the quarterback immediately, did not allow any significant gain there. Held to no yards, and now we're going to have another timeout by the Big Red.
Well, they still have those 2 timeouts, and they're going to use them regardless of what the score is here with 4:49 to go. Army a 56-0 lead here over Cornell. Army well on their way to another lopsided victory. Still be a busy weekend here. West Point, we mentioned a lot of events going on here tonight as well. Army hockey falling on the road to Canisius. Army men's soccer up the road at Malik, a 2-all draw against Loyola. And Army volleyball, a tough loss and straight sets on the road against Colgate as the Raiders get a little revenge on the Black Knights after Army swept them in straight sets a few weeks ago here at Gillis Fieldhouse right across the way. But 3rd down and 10 for Cornell out of the timeout, and that play going to be blown dead. Snyder was the signal caller. Nicholas was to his right, and something wasn't quite right for the Big Red. Or maybe not. It was something off tilt for the Black Knights. Offside against Army. Going to give Cornell 3rd down and 5.
3rd and 5 at the 44.
So 3rd and 5 at the Army 44. Snyder takes the snap, rolls out to the near side, fires left, and incomplete. Big hit along the near side by Army West Point's William French. Evan Sawyer there as well. And now Cornell with 4th down.
4:41 on the 4th quarter clock.
We'll see what Cornell draws up here. They're going to keep the offense on the field with 4th down. Snyder stays the signal caller, back to pass. One-on-one coverage far side, and did he hang on? He did, and it will be enough for a Cornell 1st down.
A diving catch there as the ball slid towards the ground, able to maintain possession of the ball as he went all the way down and pick up a gain there for a 1st down.
Kevin Lopez able to make the play. So 1st and 10 at the 36. Snyder fires it deep near sideline, and that way out of bounds. Trying to throw a jump ball to the near edge. And that falls incomplete. Trying to get it to Christian Flournoy out of Atlanta, Georgia. Flournoy, one of the more accomplished players on this Cornell roster, a recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal Award, highest honor American youth can receive. So Flournoy not only thriving on the gridiron, but outstanding off of it as well, as is the case for so many on both these sides. Snyder over the middle, and that too tall for Tierney, and let him get walloped by Evan Sawyer. So third down and 10 upcoming at the 36 with 4:04 left to go.
Third down and 10 from the 36.
3 receivers to the near side. Nicholas goes left, now cuts back to his right on the sidecar to Snyder. Back to pass, rolling out, lost the football, picked up by Army. Here come the Black Knights back the other way. Tyrus Carter on the recovery. Actually, no, that was McCardell on the recovery for the Black Knights. A strip sack, a fumble, and Army is going to take over at the Cornell 30-yard line. And that might be the final nail in the coffin for Army defensively tonight, but looks like everybody moving back to the original line of scrimmage. There might be a flag. And a face mask on Army prevents the end of the drive and gives a Cornell offense another automatic first down.
This might be the best offensive drive now for the Big Red, as they're now threatening to get into the Black Knight red zone. Hopefully able to tack on some points here. Like I said, they want to establish some momentum to carry on into next week, to carry on to their practice, to keep the morale high as they travel back.
They have an opportunity to close out the season with a win against Mansfield at home next weekend. Trying to get to 3 wins on the campaign, and Michael Hughes' first year as the head coach, spent the last several years as the defensive coordinator, also a visiting professor of the practice for Cornell Law. So that penalty for Army costly is now the Big Red all the way down at the Army 13-yard line, as that handoff going nowhere. Nicholas, the ball carrier that time for Cornell. 2-yard gain creates second down and 8.
3:37 and counting, fourth quarter.
Clock continuing to wind down. Army a 56-0 lead. Snyder will take the snap this time. Man in formation from right to left. That's Flournoy. Nicholas now motioning out of the backfield into the slot. They'll throw it to Nicholas near his side. And a great tackle by Army defensively on the edge, able to trip him up. Might have lost some yards on that play. And third down upcoming for Cornell behind the sticks, 3rd and 12.
They've tried to go to that wheel route with Nicholas on this near sideline a couple times now. So far haven't had much success with that play.
So under 3 minutes now to go. 3rd down and 12 at the 15-yard line. Cornell trying to find some way to break up the shutout, trying to avoid being blanked for the 3rd time this season. Snyder back to pass, rolling right, fires right, and did his man make the catch? No. Incomplete, the signal from the far official. And that'll bring up 4th down and 12. And I do believe Cornell is going to bring out the field goal unit here. So 4th and 12 from the 15. This will be about a 32-yard field goal try. Cornell, as we mentioned, just trying to find a way to break up the shutout. As we mentioned, Steven Siz, 3 of 4 on field goal tries this year. Those 3 field goals tied for the most made in the CSFL this year. About 32 yards from the near hash. Snap down, low snap, and it can't be held. It's a loose play. Holder running out to the near sideline, and Army's going to get the hold. No pun intended, along the near sideline. It was a muffed hold on the field goal try, and the Black Knights going to take over on 4th down as Cornell unable to break up the shutout.
Black Knights are able to keep a goose egg on that scoreboard. Looked like a low snap, and the kicker didn't really know what to do, and the holder didn't really know what to do. It was just a bit of confusion as the holder tried to take it around to that left side and try to get some yards. Able to pick up a decent gain, but not going to be enough for a first down, as now Black Knights take over 2:17 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was not the fault of the holder or the kicker. It was just a low snap, a grounder. And by the time that the holder finally got it in his possession, Sis was already at the spot where he was looking to kick the ball. So there was no time for him to gather and get ready, and it was just sort of a scramble drill from there. And Army's defense was up for the task. And with 2 minutes to go, we hit the 2-minute timeout. And the Black Knights, a 56-0 lead here. Well on their way to a second shutout here in 2024. And Ross, this has been a dominant performance from the Black Knights since the beginning of this game. If you're head coach Mark West, what do you try and take away from this game going into another matchup against Malloy next weekend to try and finish the season on a strong note?
I think you view this game in two phases. The first one being a quarter and a half where your offense was executing perfectly. You scored back-to-back touchdowns like it was nothing on the ground. Back had over 200 yards. In the first half, you had ground game working perfectly, even without your starting running back. Your starting quarterback, sophomore Cal West, was able to execute passes and connect with his receivers, get some touchdowns in the air. So I think that first phase, it went really, really well, and you're excited for how it happened. Now, as we've seen this back half, hasn't been as much scoring, but these young players have gotten to get in the game, gotten to gain valuable time, and I think they've learned and developed a lot.
Well, the big thing also is, even with all the mistakes, the shutout has remained intact. As old jet sweep over to the far side there for the Black Knights. Out of the 2-minute timeout. It'll be 3rd down and 10 upcoming for Army at the 15-yard line. And to the right of McFadden, 1:30 to go. Black Knights trying to salt the final few seconds of this game off the clock. McFadden not going to snap the ball till he absolutely has to. Play clock at 10. Snaps in at about 4. Handoff up the middle. Plenty of room for Bolivar. And he bowls his way out of the 30-yard line, and a late flag comes on from behind the play. And why not with 67 seconds left to go? And one last flag. It
would only be fitting to have another penalty in this game, I believe.
I'm just curious to see the post-game box score to find out how many penalties there ended up being in this game. There were 13 called in the first half, 9 against Cornell, 4 against Army. It's been more, I think, against Army than Cornell in the second half, but neither of these coaching staffs going to be thrilled with the free yardage given on penalties tonight. Was a penalty on Cornell. Army moves out to the 41. They'll take a knee here with a minute to go. Army will have to run one more play before this one becomes final. But Ross, all in all, just a dominant performance by the Black Knights as they get ready once again to try and play for a championship in a few weeks.
We talked about at the beginning of this game that the Black Knights, even a week ago, they had great success in the first half, and when their second and third stringers came in, they gave up some points. So I think it's exciting and inspiring to see that this team was able to hold the ground on defense even in the second half. I think that's a good takeaway. I think a positive note for sure about this team, as how they've matured from even a week ago.
Well, the next time this Army West Point team going to play here at Shea Stadium, a CSFL championship is going to be on the line. Senior night at West Point for Lieutenant Colonel Mark West and his team, a rousing success. Your final score tonight here at Shea Stadium, the Army West Point Black Knights 56 and the Cornell University Big Red nothing. Army's defense, their second shutout of the season. They put up 56 points, matching their season best offensively. And Rospa, before we sign off tonight, just an outstanding, dominant performance in all phases of the game. And after a tough finish to last weekend's game against Mansfield, where it was a much closer final than it actually was. This really, outside of the second half penalties, just an all-encompassing performance today.
It's really hard to nitpick anything that they really need to focus on and work on before they come up for their CSFL championship game. But like you mentioned, penalties will be a big focus. I can imagine that won't make any coach happy, especially one who's trying to contend for a championship game that they came up short a year ago. So this week in practice, I can imagine the focus will be discipline and getting those penalties corrected. That will be crucial to a game next week. That'll be much more close, or I should say in the championship game.
Yeah, and especially got to be feeling good right now, a game in which you didn't have your leading rusher, one of the leaders in the league this year in all-purpose yards, and Arthur Lavallee, and Henry Beck has the best game of his career on senior night, over 200 yards on the ground, and an Army offense that was already feeling pretty good about themselves, probably feeling even better right now. Well, as we do at the end of every broadcast here from Shea Stadium, a West Point tradition. Win or lose at the end of every game here at Shea, the playing of the West Point alma mater. So let's send it down to the field here on senior night for those memorable tones.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the West Point alma mater.
And that likely to be the goal for this Black Knights club the next time they play here at Shea Stadium. This is not our final broadcast here on KnightVision from YouTube for Sprint Football this season. We will have coverage of the CSFL Championship game Saturday, November the 16th. Stay tuned to GoArmyWestPoint.com, as well as the CSFL website for updates regarding the start time and the opponents in that matchup. But Ross, before we sign off tonight, any final thoughts on what was a tremendous performance on senior night?
I think we came into this game knowing it would likely be a large victory for the Black Knights. I think what really impressed us the most was just how dominant they were in the run game. I think that's something that they'll look forward to carrying on throughout the rest of the season, and something that they can really take away as a positive note from tonight.
A lot of positives tonight for the Black and Gold as they close out the regular season home schedule with a victory. So for Ross Graham, Michael Tornillo, and our entire crew behind the scenes here at Shea Stadium, I'm Justin Rock saying so long from West Point, New York. Again, your final tally: Army West Point 56 and Cornell nothing. Our next broadcast, as we mentioned, coming up Saturday, November 16th, the CSFL Championship game. We hope you'll join us then. But until then, for Ross and Michael, I'm Justin saying so long and good night from West Point. You've been watching KnightVision from YouTube.